Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Ahlan shabab. Welcome back with me again. How's everyone today? Alhamdulillah for me. As you can see behind me, I'm outside of the school building. Well, it's still part of the school, but this is the garden area. We have a lot of tons of grass, as how a grass field would be. And then there's a few pile of decoration trees. Most of them are in front of me, but you guys can't see it. I've been seeing a lot of people, like the workers, the employers. They're maintaining these trees, they're maintaining the grass, cutting it, cleaning it, washing it. Some of the plants are even edible, like the fruits. They also have rice wheat gardening field. Oh yeah, speaking of fielding, like field work, gardening, farming work, have you heard of a story about a man who is kind of either bored or kind of looking for a job? He's a well known man who apparently doesn't want to be treated as someone famous, like a celebrity. Uh, he is a Muslim man once long ago who apparently it was from long ago. The story it's unknown, but it's not far from the era of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. This man, there is many conflict between whether he is a well-known king or he is a well-known messiah, ulama. There's a lot of conflict between those kind of decision on the reason why he's famous and well known as a good Muslim. But the thing that makes the story the same is he became a farmer. Now I'll start the story from the beginning. As the one I know, there was once a king named Ibrahim who has a really big and wide castle ruling around, well, a huge size of one kingdom. He was around the Arabian Persia, well, Persian Arab. I forgot the actual date or like around what year, but it's after the Masehi. It's after the general date of Christ, BC, after BC. So it's not far from Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam era. And he, one day he was in his kingdom, just sitting around after finishing his job. He got tired of being a king. He's bored. People shows him a lot of respect. They call him the king, since he is a wise man, a fair man. He also can be considered as one of the best king on that time of era. Well, this story is believed as a the guy, the man we're talking about in the story, is believed to be a king. Some believe him as a ulama or khalifa back on his time, something like khalifa, something like it. But he gotten tired of it. The on the story that I know, the first one I heard of, he went out of the castle, taking a little break. That's what he said from his job as a king. Had someone replace him, but when he went out, he doesn't go out as a king or looking like a king. He went out in a casual clothes, just like how farmers back in the days work, or farmers' clothes back in the days. Others believe that this man was a khalifa who, well, like a leader of a certain era, a certain area, who was kind of like invited by a government to get promoted in some status. He rejected and ran away. On either start of the story, the story for both of those continues as they go somewhere far away from the place they live, whether it's the kingdom or the area they lead. They went to one farm that is, well, it is big, a really big farm, uh, where that doesn't seem like there is any worker there. Not much. There is, but not much. So just to make things easy, I'll be telling the story by the name of King Ibrahim. Everything else from here on will go the same way. King Ibrahim who's in disguise as a commoner, as a farmer, goes to that farm and asks for the owner of that farm to get him a job on that area. The, the owner of the farmer accepts him and told him to start his job as a farmer. Not only as a farmer, also as a gardener, but mainly farming. His job there is to take care of the field that the owner has, cleaning it, maintaining it, planting the new seeds they have. Well, most of the well known one for the story is that he works for like he works as apple gardener or apple farmer, which his master owns. The master, I mean, the owner of the field. Through all those years, he did say he's taking a short break, but he actually took like a few years or a few months. Through all those times, all what he did was working, 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 and working. There, so, early up in the day, he woke up from the place he rests in and starts planting, starts watering the farm, and starts cutting grasses that's overgrowing. eh, Also, then he takes care of the plants in the garden. Some says he takes care of flowers. Some says he takes care only about grass. Some says bushes. Also, that includes some says he's taking care of a tree, certain tree, to make the nature beautiful. Well, at least look beautiful. There are also times when he returned to his apples, to his master's apples, which he is taking care of. Maybe feeding it with those organic dirt looking like, what's that thing called again? I'm sorry, I don't know the name. Like feeding it and then watering the plant, maintaining maintaining the plants, checking if it looks good or no. It all goes through that way for as long as he stay there, until one day they are finally full grown. They're now uh, edible and can be sold to the market. The apples. So King Ibrahim picked out the apple one by one, and as he sees one of those apples, it looks delicious. It looks good. Oh yes, as he is in the Persian Arab era, it's hot there. And of course, you'll get hungry, you'll get thirsty easily. As you see one of those apples, it looks so nice, it looks so sweet. He wants to try it. But he didn't. Well, he knows that he's working there, but he does not own that field. So that is not something he owned. In the end, he did not try the apple or even eat it. Well, he didn't eat or even try the apple, I mean. And he just packed them all up. A while later, the master came and asked, "Hey Ibrahim, how's my garden? How's my field?" He said, "It's all great. Everything has been going smoothly. We have about like a few big bunch of apples. It's not really said how many though in the story, based on what I heard. So the owner looks around his field. Everything looks good. The apples are ready to be sold too. All they have to do is just to bring the apples and bring it to the market." Well, then, before they do that, the owner asked Ibrahim to give him one of the apples and let him try. Ibrahim grabbed one of the apples and handed it to him. "Here you go, sir." And then the owner of the field takes it and tries a bite of the apple. It may look good, but the actual taste of the apple is sour and bad. It tastes bad. The owner shouts in rage to Ibrahim, and seeming that he tried a few apples, not only one. Ibrahim bought a few apples to him. He tried a few apples. All of them taste sour. All of them taste bad. So he is mad and he rages on Ibrahim. He said, "Ibrahim, how many years have you been working here?" Ibrahim state the time that he's been working. The one that I heard first of, and the one that I heard most often, that he works there for 2 years. So Ibrahim replied, "I've been working here for 2 years, master." Well, boss is in generally what we call them now, but that's just a way I can express it. And the owner asked, "2 years, right? You know that's long." The owner said. So he asked, Can't you tell the difference between sweet apple, sour apple, good apples, and bad apples? Ibrahim said, no. You know how you know how long have you been working here, right? 2 years. That's you're supposed to be good enough to tell that by now. Ibrahim said, no, sir. This is my first time actually farming, and I've never tried any of the apples here. You never? Asked the master. Ibrahim replied, yeah, I never tried any of your apples. All I've been doing is just farming them, planting, maintaining them, feeding them, and then harvesting them today. So the master asked, then why don't you try it? It's all sour. You should have tried it before. Then Ibrahim replied, this is the most important part of the story. He replied, sir, these apples are not mine. My job here is only to maintain them. All of these apples belong to you, and you never gave me permission to try any of the apples. So my responsibility is only to take care of them, and I have no right to eat any of these apples. That is when the master is shocked, and apparently it all goes smoothly in the end. And also, well, Islamically, this story teaches us about not touching, not taking, eating, especially, or stealing, maybe to put simple, taking, to put it simple, taking that's anything that does not belong to us. Anything that belongs to other are their own thing. It must be them who have it, must be them who use it, must be them who eats it. That is what Ibrahim taught us here. I guess that's all the story I have to tell today. Thanks for watching until the end. And if any of you does not understand anything of any part of the story, I'm sorry. I'm not really a really good storyteller. This story is just a little story I want to share with some people. I've been meaning to share with someone I know, but never really did though, so I shared it here. And apparently as a project. Thanks for watching and see you later.